Shades of night are falling as the wind begins to sigh, and the world is silhouetted against the sky. Blue shadows on the trail.
Well, howdy, boys and girls. Doggone, it's mighty neighborly of you to drop by and join us around the campfire. First off, let's all get acquainted, huh? Well, I'm Roy Rogers, and the singing you hear is by Bob Nolan and the Sons of the Pioneers.
And the plaintive wail from the distance.
Oh, yes, and this is my horse, Trigger. Well, sit down now and get comfortable while I stir up the fire a bit. Say, those coyotes sure sound mighty lonesome tonight. I guess they must be thinking of poor old Bill. Of course, you've all heard of Pecos Bill. You know, the little boy who lived with the coyotes and... What's that? You haven't? Why, boys, these young folks have never heard of Pecos Bill. Imagine that.
Well, I thought everybody knew Pecos.
Bill was the champion cowboy of these United States, he and his horse, Widowmaker.
That their horse was a killer.
Dynamite on the hoof.
And if that gal, Slewfoot Sue, hadn't come down the river...
Riding on her catfish.
Boys, just a minute. Let's start this story at the beginning.
Oh, okay, Roy. You start it, and we'll help out with a little music.
Well, it all started back in Texas a long time ago. Now down Texas way, a river flows. Where it comes from, nobody knows. Where it's going, don't no one care. Just doggone glad it's a-leaving there.
That there's the Pecos River.
Pure alkali.
Just naturally mean water.
Why, the buzzards won't even touch it.
Into this fertile garden spot, once there come a prairie cart. There was Ma and Pa and 16 brats and 4 hound dogs.
Yeah, and a couple of cats.
All a-going west a-looking for elbow room. Crossing the Pecos River bed, Bill fell out and lit on his head. Folks didn't even know he was gone. Old wagon just kept rolling along. Poor little Bill.
Yes, only 2 years old and all by his lonesome.
Too bad.
Long come night and a prairie moon, old Ma Coyote hurrying home. She was due for a shock at her journey's end.
For the stork had delivered a dividend.
You guessed it. It was little Bill.
Curled up and fast asleep with Ma's pups.
Bill looked up and then he grinned. Ma's old heart just plumb caved in. Bill seen right off that he needn't fear. He'd staked himself a claim right here.
Yep, Bill made himself right to home.
Joined up with that there coyote outfit.
Become a right good coyote, too, Bill did.
And that's how Pecos Bill growed up tougher than any coyote pup.
I guess Bill kind of had the knack for it, because soon he was the boss of that there coyote pack.
Yeah, but little Bill couldn't rest till he'd proved himself the A1 best.
And in a year, or maybe 2, he was a boss of all them other varmints, too.
It all come kind of natural to Bill. No matter what the other varmints did, Bill could do her better.
When an antelope come loping down the desert,
Bill up and outlope the antelope.
And when a wildcat tried screaming at Bill,
Bill plumb out-screamed that wildcat.
And one day when a grizzly bear was foolish enough to wrestle with
Bill out-wrestled that grizzly so bad.
And that grizzly tried to get away so fast.
Not realizing that Bill had to hold his tail.
that tail broke off. Spang at the roots.
And that's why them grizzlies got no tails today.
Mm-hmm. And now, you know what a keen nose a wolf has, how good he can smell.
Well, after a couple of years of them there coyotes, you should have smelt Bill.
Bill figured he was a sure enough coyote. And then one day,
A cowhand come riding by. Feller by the name of Wide Awake Jones, it were.
Howdy, stranger, says Wide Awake.
Howdy, says Bill.
Now, I don't aim to be a presuming on your privacy, stranger, but ain't this all sort of irregular, running around on all fours without no clothes on, acting like a coyote?
Nothing irregular about that, says Bill, seeing as how I am a coyote.
Yeah. Well, I swan. Can you prove it?
Why, sure, says Bill. Look, I got fleas. And Bill scratched his right ear with his left hind leg.
Oh, now, shucks, that don't prove nothing. Everybody in these parts has got fleas, says Wide Awake. And he scratched his right ear to prove that. Besides, if when you're a coyote, we're at your long furry tail. Huh?
Well, sir, Bill seen right there that Wide Awake had him. Of course, sure enough, he didn't have no tail. But if I ain't a coyote, says Bill, getting up on his hind legs, what am I, human?
No, says Wide Awake. If when you's a human, you'd be a riding a horse. All humans in these here parts ride horses. Well, evening, stranger. Hope I ain't inconvenienced you none.
Well, sir, Bill was a leetle mite upset about that. Used to sit for hours out on the desert wondering how he could get a horse and become a human.
Then one day, across the burning sand, a stranger come to the Pecos land. The usual committee,
Hungry buzzards.
was there today to welcome their guest in the usual way.
It was a little cold. And that flock of buzzards was all set to make a meal out of it.
Poor little feller. Lost, dead-beaten, plumb tuckered out.
But still full of spirit.
and he was putting up quite a battle.
Now, 50 to 1 weren't no fair fight, but 1 plus Bill made it just about right. Them graveyard chickens was scattered plumb to the furthest corners of Kingdom Come. Bill and that horse had won the day.
And that's how come Bill met Widowmaker.
Yes, sir, it was the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Yep, from that time on, them two stuck together, like warts on a toad, like birds of a feather. When old Bill growed up, it was natural, of course. He'd choose a career to suit him and his horse.
Yep, Bill become a rootin', tootin' cowboy.
Pecos Bill was quite a cowboy down in Texas, and a western superman, to say the least. He was the roughest, toughest critter, never known to be a quitter, 'cause he never had no fear of man or beast. So yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-o, for the toughest critter west of the Alamo. Once he roped the raging cyclone out of nowhere. Then he straddled it and settled down with ease. And while that cyclone bucked and flitted, Pecos rolled the smoke and lit it, and he tamed that ornery wind down to a breeze. So once there was a drought that spread all over Texas. So to sunny California he did go. And though the gag is kind of corny, he brought rain from California. That's the way we got the Gulf of Mexico. So yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-o, for the toughest critter west of the Alamo.
Now, once a band of rustlers stole a herd of cattle. But they didn't know the herd they stole was Bill's. And when he caught them crooked villains, Pecos knocked out all their fillings. That's the reason why there's gold in them there hills.
So yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-o, for the toughest critter west of the Alamo. Oh, Pecos lost his way while traveling on the desert. It was 90 miles across the burning sand. He knew he'd never reach the border if he didn't get some water. So he got a stick and dug the Rio Grande. While a tribe of painted Indians did a war dance, Pecos started shooting up their little game. He gave them redskins such a shake-up that they jumped out of their makeup. That's the way the painted desert got its name. So yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-oh, for the toughest critter west of the Alamo. While reclining on a cloud high over Texas, with his guns he made the stars evaporate. Then Pecos saw them stars declining, so he left one brightly shining as the emblem of the Lone Star, Texas state. So yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-oh, as the emblem of the Lone Star, Texas state.
Bill and Widowmaker were sure happy.
They was as close as two sides of a thin dot.
It looked like nothing could ever come between them.
And then Slewfoot Sue come along. Now, Bill was happy that fateful day, a-killin' some time in his carefree way, inventing a one-man rodeo, a button heads with a buffalo.
Bill claimed it as plumb invigorating.
Made a feller use his head.
Yes, it sort of cleared the cobwebs from his brain.
And then, old man Fate started dealing from the bottom of the deck.
For down the stream come a young female, a-riding a catfish as big as a whale.
And the minute he seen her, Pecos knew that he was in love with Slewfoot Sue.
Now, I ain't one to be depreciating womanhood, but...
Oh, me neither. Some of the finest mothers I ever knowed is women.
Why, sure, me too.
But for a feller like Bill, happy and carefree...
Marriage just wasn't in the cards for him.
Widowmaker, he noted too.
Yep, he tried to warn Bill.
But it wasn't no use. Bill was a goner. Right then and there, he asked Sue to marry him.
And naturally, Sue agreed on certain conditions.
Yep, first off, Sue wanted Bill to get her a bustle. You know, one of those do-funnies made of steel and wire? All the fashionable women used to wear them.
Yeah, right where they sit down, right smack in back of their lap.
And Bill got it for her. Yep, he come up with the springiest, the strongest steel bustle the world has ever seen.
Yeah, sure, if you give it just one tap with your hand, you could hear it spring like this.
Well, Sue put the bustle on and reckoned it looked right pretty. But was she satisfied?
No, not Sue. Next, you said Widowmaker'd have to move out of Bill's house.
Yeah, no more sleeping in a bed of nice, soft cactus needles right next to Bill's bunk, no.
No more eating his hay at the table with Bill.
He'd have to live in the barn, just like any other old horse.
But that wasn't the worst. When the wedding day come, Sue insisted on riding to the preacher's house on Widowmaker's back.
That was plumb humiliating.
Why, Widowmaker had never let no one but Bill ride him.
And now, a woman, and wearing a bustle. Why, no self-respecting horse would stand for that.
Yep, that old jughead was plumb irritated.
But it didn't bother Sue none.
Why, she walked right up to that critter's side, and her gentle hand touched his bristling hide. Her foot found a stirrup, and with the flick of her bustle, Sue was aboard, and sot right there for the tussle.
And the proceeding begun to commence forthwith.
Sue sure could ride that Widowmaker.
Yeah, was no doubt about it. That there, Sue, was a regular female buckaroo.
And no matter what tricks that critter played, Sweet Sue called his bluff and stayed.
Yeah, for a while it looked like Sue was going to tame that horse.
Stuck to him like a burr on a coyote's tail. And then that springy steel bustle started to...
Underneath them frills and flounces,
Sue was developing plenty of bounces.
there's got to be more than that gal could handle.
And Sue took off like a Roman candle. Yep, Sue shot straight up in the air. And when she come down,
She landed smack on that bustle and went straight up again.
bounced over the Rockies in one long hop.
Yeah, cleared Pikes Peak about a mile from the top.
And soon it was plain to the multitude that Sue was again in altitude.
It sure looked like she was a goner.
But no, here come a ray of hope. Look, it were Bill in his trusty robe.
He'd darn soon put a stop to this. Shucks, Bill was never knowed to miss.
Why, Bill had it all figured out. Next time Sue come down, he'd throw his lasso around her.
And then ease her down to the ground, kind of gentle-like. And then the wedding could proceed as per schedule.
But Widowmaker, he seen what Bill had in mind.
And when nobody was a-looking, he put his foot on Bill's rope so that when he throwed it, it'd fall short.
But poor Bill, he didn't know about this.
He built his loop with careless ease, judged his distance, stuck his finger in the air and tested the breeze. Then a whirl, a twirl, and a twist of the wrist, he let her go. Oh, but the champion missed.
Bill never could figure out how he come to miss. But Widowmaker, he knew.
And as for Sue, she was off again on her heavenly flight. Up, up she went clean out of sight. Till far out into space, this unfortunate maid finally come to the moon. And that's where she stayed.
Move along, blue shadow.
In the state of Texas, USA, life still goes on in the same old way. And the Pecos River still flows on, but the greatest cowboy on earth is gone. Yep, Bill went back to the coyotes, but he never forgot Sue. And every night when the moon rose high, he'd lift his voice in mournful cry, bewailing the fate of his lady fair, his long-lost love in the sky up there. So painful was his grief to see, the coyotes joined in out of sympathy. And that's how come to this very day, coyotes howl at the moon that way.